they have like competition and stuff with TikTok. So
What's that?
it's like you can compete against different creators on TikTok. So I don't know if it could be someone who's in the live who wants to join, or it could be like a random person as well.
So you guys will have to figure that out for me.
Correct.
Because I have no idea what he just said. Somebody just came on and wanted to join the live with you guys, and I'm all for it, except um, uh, we'll see. Give it a few more minutes. We're just waiting for the Instagram people to get on too.
They're on now.
Oh,
Every YouTube.
Okay, so we're everywhere. So thank you for your patience, TikTokers. I'm so brand new to TikTok. I've been on Instagram for about, kind of a while, not actively. So TikTok is all brand new to me. So I appreciate all you new subscribers. You've been coming on pretty consistently. So hopefully I have the right information for you today. So I really appreciate you. But I still can't tell people coming on Instagram on here.
Oh,
Right?
on here. There's one on YouTube right now on there, and then there's 12 on here. And somebody also said they loved your bracelets.
Oh, well,
And
the
then-
bracelets, I don't do anything just for the heck of it. Everything has an intention. So I'm wearing shungite. Most of my bracelets are shungite, which protects you from the EMFs, from the all the stuff from the phones and the computers and stuff. So I'm wearing shungite, and then I'm wearing this beautiful Buddhist one of my girlfriends made for me, and I'm wearing some that my daughter made. So it's kind of like having things close to my heart and protecting myself at the same time. Anyway, we're going to get started very soon because
there's 30 on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure out how to do that later.
Okay. So we'll figure out everything. So I wanted to come to you today because there's this, wait, let me turn the music down a little bit more too. I use music to get inspired to talk to you guys.
Sarah Thompson said, "Good evening, Karen."
Hi, everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time out to spend here with me this evening. I'm, coming from Illinois, from Chicago, but, that's my puppy. He's happy to be here too. Don't worry about it. He's just yelling at somebody. Anyway, I wanted to come on today, and to talk about, there's a huge movement in this day and age. Excuse me. Hey, Matthew, thank you. Shh, shh, shh. Okay, thank you for doing your job. Come on over here, baby. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sorry. Anyway, there seems to be a renewed movement about the whole protein debate. And for people like myself who haven't had animal protein for over 50 years, I haven't had meat, fish, chicken, or dairy. I wouldn't even begin to know how to eat it or prepare it. We seem to be, I don't say attacked, but there's a huge movement to get away from this plant-based world and get into the meat world. What I think is interesting about it is they don't call it meat, they call it protein, the protein world, so it sounds like a vitamin. And I'm not here to put it down, okay? I'm here to give you another side to the coin, because I don't believe there's a right or a wrong or a good or a bad or a yes or no. I think there's a process for your life, like there's a process for my life. And we come here and we take into it what we need to learn during this time in our lives. We come here given all the tools of good, bad, and indifferent so that we can learn. We come here because I don't believe everything is supposed to be the same. I don't think we're all supposed to be the same. If everything was supposed to be the same, then God would have put nothing but zebras on the planet, right? Or he would have put just one animal that eats and lives one way. It's a variety. It's the difference. So I'm not here to convert my carnivores to be plant-based vegan. I'm here to give you another side of the coin that you may want to embrace or look at. Now, I also want to say I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any professional to give you, that I'm a doctor in this or I'm a scientist. I don't have that. I just have my life experience for the past 50 years, how I've led it. Now, here's what I look at all the time. I'm 77 years old. And I don't know what illness is. I don't know what tiredness is. I haven't been sick in over 50 years. Most of the people in my age group are having some type of challenge from, just all kinds of challenges. I'm not going to get into naming them, but I don't know what that is. And I don't know what it is because of the lifestyle I've learned to adapt for me at this time. And the reason I started the whole thing was because all the women in my family died overweight and young. My mom died at 47, my grandmother died at 50, and my great-grandmother died at 60. So longevity wasn't known in my whole lineage of lifestyle, right? So I knew I needed to do something different. And I had a litany of illnesses and diseases. I was allergic to everything known to man. I was sick all the time. I was constipated. I had terrible skin, blah, blah, blah. I had the worst PMS on the planet. And then I met Dr. Ann Wigmore and Victoria Skolvenskis, and it totally transformed my life. So I'll get more into that too, but the point of my getting on today is to let you know that this plant-based lifestyle has served me so well. And I know a lot of people are adhering. I don't know if some of you saw on my Instagram, I did a funny little thing with this one doctor that's really promoting meat, and he says that kale and broccoli are bullshit and vegetables are bad for us and blah, blah, blah. And I'll throw in also, my mother taught me for every pro there's a con, and who's to say which is right? It's to gather the information and then you choose in your heart what works for you. So that's what I'm doing here this evening, is to give you more information. Oh, but I want to throw in, I got a surprise for you. Because I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, I contacted 3 very well-known doctors and scientists, that 2 of them I know very well, that are going to come on with me in about a week or so. I'm going to have them on each week, and they're going to give you the scientific data to go along with how a plant-based diet can work for you. Because the people in this protein world, and I have to tell you, it's come so close to home. I have family friends that are bringing people home that are, no, I'm a carnivore, no carbs for me, only protein, which, like I said, they're calling protein. So they don't use the word meat. And I take it a step further. It's a dead animal, folks, okay? It's a dead animal that people are promoting to promote their lifestyle. Like I said, you have to do what works for you. But I want to bring in the other side of the coin, or more information, so that you can make a different evaluation for what's right for you. Because quite frankly, I've had some young people, especially young women, DM me saying, I'm afraid to go plant-based. That's what really sparked this whole thing, is the people saying they're afraid to go plant-based because of all the information. So, I'm going to start out with plant-based over 50 years. I've done no fillers, no Botox, no surgery. Yeah, I got lines and wrinkles, but it's part of the process of being alive. But I am working on getting rid of that too. This is my new favorite thing, my gua sha. I do some little things here and there, but it's fear of being plant-based. And in my world, and not only am I plant-based, I'm raw. I don't eat cooked food either. And I truly believe that that's the way God, Spirit, Universe intended all of us to live, not to have to harm another animal to sustain ourselves, and that everything is here for us and grows even wild. I mean, I have a yard. I use all my wild weeds and stuff to feed myself, because I believe God put everything, God, Spirit, Universe, here to sustain us. So people being frightened of being plant-based and not having animal protein kind of breaks my heart. Like I said, this is what brought me to do this live tonight, and get your questions when I finish talking. Because to be afraid of what seems so natural to me, to not have to kill or harm something. And it's amazing, the animals in our country that we choose to eat for protein are kind of the slow animals. They can't get away from us. It's not a natural human instinct to eat dead flesh. I really don't believe that. I think it's a learned experience. We learn to do it. I often say, if you were on a desert island and you hadn't eaten for a month, which you can go a month without food, and all of a sudden a dead cow appeared and a bushel of apples, where do you think your instincts would take you? It wouldn't be, I got to be protein. It would be to feed your body and your soul and your emotions, and you would go for the bushel of apples. Of course, there's some anomalies, like we had Gacy people that eat other humans, other animals that are humans. But who's to say which animals are to be slaughtered and killed and eaten? In our world, in the United States, we've decided cows and pigs and lambs are the ones to go. In some countries, you can eat dogs and cats and snakes and monkeys. So who's to say which animals are to be slaughtered and tortured and eaten? We've just taken an easy route for ourselves. This is only my opinion, but I'm going to bring you some doctors in a week or so online so that you can bring your scientific thoughts to it too, because I don't bring that at all. That's not who I am. I live in the vibrations of the world, and I download what feels right to me, which I believe we all can. You won't get any scientific data from me because that's not the world I live in. Anyway, back to, so it's coming very close to home for me. I had a family member bring someone to our home that was total animal protein and no carbs. And my first thought was, oh my God, it wasn't this is a bad person. It was, what am I going to feed them? Which I'm sure a lot of people must go through when they know I'm coming to dinner, especially 50 years ago. My family didn't know what to give me. They kind of said, don't invite her to dinner because they don't know what to feed her. I might add, they're all dead too, and I'm still alive. Anyway, that didn't sound so great, but it's a reality. I'm not only alive, I'm thriving. I'll say it again. I don't know what illness is. I don't know what tiredness is. I don't have sore throats, colds. I don't get sick because my body is taking in my world what God intended for it to take in. So I have a huge argument in my world for eating only a plant-based diet. But I'm going to bring some doctors and some scientists on within the next week or two to help you with your questions and complaints about what you may need to know scientifically. I don't come from, you need this many grams of this, I don't live in that world. I didn't come with a chart. I came with a chart. Every cell in my body, that's the chart. The cells in my body know what they're supposed to have. They were programmed by God, Spirit, Universe, wherever your belief system takes you. My cells were programmed before I came here. And the more you cleanse, and I'm going to throw this into, I'm real big on cleansing and detoxing. I have some classes coming up. The more you cleanse, the more your body gets to the reality of what you're supposed to be eating and doing and how you're supposed to be living. We all intuitively know what's right. We've just forgotten, and it's been programmed out of us. I have to tell you, you turn on the TV, and every commercial is for a drug for something, right? They've got for restless knee, whatever you name, they've got a drug for it. And how about this latest thing of Ozempic or all the weight loss things? It's kind of scary to me that we've fallen into a world where science and chemicals are to keep us sustained and alive, as opposed to what God and nature provides us on a consistent basis without fail. Without fail. We have some questions there. Well, I'm going to give you a minute. I'll just say, I am pleased to share. Oh, we've got all kinds of questions here. I've got some helpers here, so if you want me to tighten up for a minute, let them give me the questions so I can start to answer for
I have
you.
a few comments. They're asking where we can get the bracelets from.
Oh, the bracelets. Okay, you know what? A dear friend of mine, Tom, if you're in the Chicago area, he has a place at the Fulton Market where he sells them. But I will put his information up on where will I put my information up for them to see it?
Put on Instagram and TikTok.
I will put it on Instagram and TikTok where you can go to my friend Tom and get the bracelets. Some of the bracelets are from him, some my daughter made, some friends gave me. But yes, the shungite you definitely want. I actually have the shungite out in my backyard too to protect me from all the wires and things out there. Do we have another one?
Yes. Somebody said yesterday was their 12-year vegan anniversary, and they're saying you're thriving. Yes, you look great.
Yes, 12-year anniversary. You're on the road. This is the way to go. I'm telling you, folks, the only reason I'm doing this is because there's a huge movement to eat meat now. It's come about again. And what people don't realize, especially you younger people, is Dr. Atkins did this in the 80s and the 90s, right? And he was all about eating steaks and eating animal protein and staying away from carbs. But I might add, he recently transitioned at 73. I'm 77 and not looking to transition anytime soon. At 73, and his autopsy, there's a lot of controversy about it because he may have had a heart attack. I want to throw this into the protein eaters. You're talking about protein to build muscle, but the American Cancer Society says too much animal protein causes cancer. I have in the early 1800s, the only people that had heart attacks were the rich people because they were the only ones that could afford to eat meat all the time, okay? What's it doing to your heart? Maybe it can help you build some muscle. I won't contradict that. I'm not a scientist. But what else is it doing to you? You can't break it down the way a carnivore can. You just can't. So it stays in there and it rots and it putrefies and it feeds your cells and organs. Oh, not to mention what it does to you on a spiritual level in my world. And I have to tell you, some of the greatest minds in the world, Plato, Pythagoras, Einstein, there's a whole list of them, were vegetarian, right? Because they knew the vibrations of the world depended on your existence also. Do I have any more questions? I could talk forever, folks.
Yes, you do. A couple of them are talking about the restaurant, but this one is asking top picks on replace pills for pain, ibuprofen and Tylenol. What can you replace for pain?
Ah, yes, my systemic enzymes. I don't have all my stuff right here. Some of you know I broke my shoulder in 17 places about 5, 6 years ago, and then I broke this shoulder over here. No osteoporosis, folks. I'm clumsy, or I was. I'm not going to claim that anymore. Clumsy because I was running around in 5-inch heels and, blah, 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 and I fell. I could not take the painkillers because I had to have it operated on. I couldn't take the painkillers they gave me because I don't know how anybody gets addicted to, what was it that gave me? What's that one that's, no, they gave me a strong painkiller. What's the name of it? It's the people are getting addicted to it, and I can't understand how they get, because it just made me feel terrible, and it didn't really get rid of the pain. So systemic enzymes, and I would need to know a little bit more where your pain is coming from or why you have it. If it's arthritis, I'm going to go to the meat, the animal products again, because the more acidic your body, the more it reacts. Our bodies are always trying to reach this acid-alkaline balance, the homeostasis of about 6.8, 6.5 to 7. So if you're extremely acidic, I don't know what your pain is from, that would help. But when I broke my shoulders, systemic enzymes. And, if you want to wait a second, in my kitchen over where you see all those pink bottle when you're coming in the front door, you can go to my website and look for my systemic enzymes. And I got wonderful results with that. But it's not just good what you're putting in. A lot has to do with what you stop and you don't do too. We can put all the good stuff in, but if you're still doing all the stuff to create the problem, I don't know where your pain is coming from or why it's there, then it's going to persist, okay, to a degree. You can only chemicalize so far. Give me 1 second. I'm going to help her find that bottle. It could be over here too. Normally I pull this over when I do a live, so I have everything in front of me right here. Oh, no, but you're in the right space. But normally I pull this over so I can talk about stuff. Give me a second, folks. Thanks for your patience. I wasn't coming on to do any kind of commercials, but here it is. No, these are both vinegary. But if you go to my website and you look for, you'll see them on there, systemic enzymes. People have reported, here they are, getting wonderful results. So like I said, if you go to shopkarens.com, and Karen is spelled Karyn, I have my systemic enzymes on there. And you have to do quite a few. I do one-on-one counseling. I do classes. We have a sugar break class coming up. You might want to check that out. I'm here to talk about meat tonight, but it's all connected. The life isn't orchestra. It isn't one thing. Any other questions?
Yes. My wife is vegan, and I would like to become vegan. I'm vegetarian, but my downfall is cheese. Any recommendations?
Yes, cheese. It's not just your, you need to listen to this too. It's not just, you're not weak, you're not undisciplined. They actually put the chemicals they use to process the cheese are addictive. You see, part of the human condition is to have salt, fat, and sugar. So we're supposed to have fat. We're just not supposed to have animal fat, cheese fat. I'm stalled right here. For some reason, I'm not moving people. Oh, there it's going again. Okay. So it's literally, they put what do they put the cheese into? Why can't I think of it right now? The casein, yes. The chemicals in the casein are so addictive. They're like heroin. So you get a little bit and you want more. And they put it in everything. Even if you order a salad, they're going to give you cheese in it, to give you that addiction. There are so many wonderful vegan cheeses on the market right now. I started making them over 20 years ago in my first raw restaurant. I have a cookbook also, and you can go to my cookbook, and I have recipes to make vegan cheeses, but it's everywhere. You can get vegan cheese at Jewel now. That's a local supermarket here, or Walmart, or every place has it now. So what I recommend you do is you find some good substitutes. You may not love all of them, right? Find some good substitutes and keep them in the house. So when that urge comes, you have something to fill the void. And then I also recommend that you do my detox class that's coming up. We haven't given a date for it yet, but we have a detox class coming up where people are pretty well, they're able to eliminate it. You know, I used to go to Optimal Health in San Diego, and that's where I worked with Dr. Ann Wigmore, who started the whole raw movement. And that really helped me break down the layers of toxicity in my body. And the more you break down the layers, the less you want of the negativity. So I would do my detox coming up, and I would find some wonderful vegan cheeses to substitute in the meantime, because they're all out there, folks. They're all out there. Any other questions?
Yes. What's your main source of protein through plants?
My main source of proteins, well, first of all, I do a lot of seaweeds and algae, and I sell those on my website too. Seaweeds and somebody's coming on. I don't see me. I see somebody else. I guess somebody. But I do a lot of algae. There are proteins in algae. I do sprouted beans. I do sprouted seeds and nuts. My cookbook, I'll pull it up again. I got it over here. So in my cookbook, it's called Soak Your Nuts, folks. And there's a reason for it. One side I have raw recipes. The other side I have cooked recipes. And so I make a lot of pâtés, almond pâtés and things like that. But I don't look to see, and I do use a nature's, because I'm a dancer also, ballet. And so I like to get in protein. I make a protein shake, and I use chia seed in it, and hemp seed, and walnuts, and pumpkin seeds, and my green meal that I sell, and my spirulina, and I put them all, and I drink a smoothie every day. I could have had it. Why don't I? Can they see all of me, or just that? Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Anyway, so I've got classes coming up, and you know, I do one-on-ones. I prefer the classes though, and I teach and show all this. We are even starting something new with my teacher, Victoria Skovenskas, who started the whole raw movement with Dr. Ann Wigmore. We're going to do something called Home Institute, where you can do everything at home for yourself, like you went away to get it done. But just going on and on and on. There are ways to do it. You have to set the intention that you're not going to do it, and make small little goals. Like for a solid week, I'm not going to do any dairy. And you have to look for it in everything, because they put it in everything, because they know that's the way to get you addicted.
What are your thoughts on wine?
My thoughts on wine. Well, you know, one of my dearest friends, John Sally, the basketball player, we used to sell his wine at my restaurant, Karen's on Green in Chicago, one of the first fancy vegan restaurants around, because it was vegan. Unfortunately, the regular wines they put through fish gills or something to, I don't know the whole process. But, you know, I personally don't drink. But my husband drinks wine, and my friends drink wine, and two of my restaurants, I always had bars in them. So I feel as long as you get in all the stuff that's required, you know, that your body needs, lots of living water, your juices, your protein shakes, or your greens and stuff, then of course have a glass of wine. But do know that having a glass of wine is like eating a piece of chocolate cake. So it's going to convert to sugar in your body. So I choose to get my sugar in other ways other than wine, because blood sugar issues run in my family. Anybody else?
Yes. They said, what is your, oh yeah, that was the main source. I've been vegan for years, and I started getting muscle twitching for weeks. I saw a neuromuscular specialist, and she told me I need to eat meat. I don't think that's the answer. What do I do?
Yeah, I don't think it's the answer either, although I'm not a doctor or scientist. I would start some protein shakes. I would add spirulina. I don't know if you do algae. Do I have my algae here? I do my green living fiber. I do spirulina. I have all of these products. I thought I was just going to be talking about meat tonight, folks. So I didn't pull everything up to show you that I do. And I will do another video where I'm talking about more of what I do in my lifestyle on a daily basis. But I'm real big on adding spirulina and especially my green living fiber. And I have three, and chlorella. I take all of these greens in on a regular basis. You know, in terms of the scientist or doctor telling you there are entire cultures and societies that don't eat animal products. What about the Seventh-day Adventists? When they started, there were 6 people in the United States. Now there's 6 million of them. How are they thriving and striving without animal products? So, but save your question. Come on when I bring the doctors, because remember, I'm not a scientist or a doctor. When I bring them on, they're going to be able to give you the scientific data to tell you what you need. So we're going to have that data very soon when I'm going to have the live with the doctors, where you'll be able to ask questions too. So stay tuned, because I want your questions to be answered, and I'm not qualified in every arena, okay? I've only lived it for 50 years. I'd listen to me, but who knows? Any more questions?
Yes. This says what to have for sugar to balance the body levels to remain normal. Like what sugars, I guess, can you have?
Well, you know, when you do my sugar break that's coming up real soon, stay tuned for it, because even though I'm 100% plant-based for 50 years, I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, I do a sugar break every so often. And in my sugar break, we take out everything. Some people start with just white sugar. We take out honey. We take out maple syrup. We take out everything except stevia and monk fruit, because those don't raise your blood sugar levels. But I would say monk fruit. I would say stevia, which I don't care for the taste of. But, you know, even though vegans don't necessarily tend to want to eat honey, a little honey daily would be okay. But I think everybody needs to take a break from all sugar. And why do I say that? Is because we're only supposed to have a few grams a year, and people are doing about 125 pounds of sugar a year. It's in everything. And it's the basis for just about all of our ills, from schizophrenia to bipolar to alcoholism to obesity to, when we do the sugar break, I'll talk more about that. And I've had people say, we even give up fruit, those are ready for that short period of time, because we just take in too much sugar on a consistent basis. So I would say stevia, which I said I don't care for the taste of, but monk fruit is a good one if you can find a pure monk fruit. And if you need a little maple syrup or honey. I hope that answered your question.
This one is about juicing. Do you juice? And what do you think about kombucha and coffee?
Yeah, I juice just about every other day. I have one of the kind of juicers. I have the perfect juicer on the planet, the pure juicer. But there's a lot of other good ones on the market where you want to keep it. But I have vegetable juice every day, and it's a source of part of my water, because the water in juice, cucumber juice is 90% water. You know, do I do specific ones every day? No. When we do my detox class, we do more specific. But I kind of believe that we're not supposed to compartmentalize our juicing on a daily basis unless you're working towards something. It's just part of my drinks. Like somebody might have a Coca-Cola. I may have some red pepper juice with sprouts added to it or something, you know. So yes, I do juice every single day, or drink a juice every day of my life. That is part of my food for my cells to live. And the great thing about juicing is you get the nutrients right away, and you don't have to break it down. You don't have to do all that digestion. Digestion is the hardest working system in the body, and that's why you're tired after you eat. And that's part of the reason I have so much energy. I don't do tons of chew foods. I do some, but it's raw when I do.
Kombucha and coffee.
Oh, kombucha and caffeine. Okay, here's a big one. You're not going to like this. And I make coffee for my husband every single day of his life, but I see that he has all of the alkaline stuff first. To me, caffeine is one of the biggest, it's one of the worst things we can do for our bodies, is have caffeine, coffee caffeine. 1 in 2 people will have cancer in their lives. And what does cancer love? It loves acid. And caffeine is one of the most acidic things on the planet. And if your body is too tired to make it through the day, I've been saying this for 50 years. Some people are throwing some YouTubes up about me when I said it 10, 15, 20 years ago. Here's the deal. We're on the circadian rhythms of the universe. When the sun comes up, we're designed to get up with the sun, right? And you're supposed to have the energy to make it through the day. If you don't have the energy, if your cells don't have the fuel to take it through, you're pushing yourself past where it's supposed to be. And I love to give the example. If I have a horse and he's too tired to go from here to here, and I take a whip and spurs and I beat him to do it, He's going to walk from here to here, but he doesn't really have the energy, and he's going to drop dead a lot sooner. So you couldn't pay me to have caffeine, and I know it has a few like magnesium and some other stuff, but there's so many other ways to take in magnesium or get those properties other than through caffeine. And if you can't make it through the day without caffeine, your body is in decline, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, scientist, but in my opinion, it's in decline. And kombucha. Okay, here's the deal with kombucha. When kombucha first came out, there was a place in California that was selling it, and I was visiting my daughter, and I had some kombucha, and oh, it made me feel so good. I ordered it and had a case of it shipped to Chicago because you couldn't buy it everywhere at the time. But you see, at that time, there was an alcohol content in it, you know, and it's made with sugar and caffeine. And I make a product, and I teach a product in my classes called Rejuvelac that was not invented by me. It was by Dr. Ann Wigmore, who started this whole movement. And we use Rejuvelac in our classes to get that fermented food. But, you know, 6 to 8 ounces of it a day, I don't think is terrible if that works for you.
This one says, what do you eat in a day, on an easy day?
What do I eat in a day? I'm going to do videos and things on all of these things for you. But here's the deal, folks. Everybody hold up your fist. I'm tiny. I was been this size since I'm 16, 14 years old. The size of your fist is the size of your stomach. That's all the food you need. Eating these huge amounts of food. And I see a lot of my vegan fellow, they have all this food, you know. It's a tiny little sack in there, and it doesn't take that much when you're doing what it's required to have. So do I eat a lot? No. I have, and I'll do a video on that. Stay with me. I'll do a video of what I do in the day. And sometimes I'll do the same thing for a week or two. Like I'll be on a broccoli kick, and right now I'm on a cabbage broccoli kick, and I'll eat tons of that. And then I'll get sick of that, and I'll go to something else. So I do have water every single morning of my life because that is the most perfect food on the planet. Your bodies are 90% water. Your brain's 90% water. The planet is 90% water. To me, God is water because it's in everything. You come to this world in water, right? So I start my day with water. And when we do our classes, we start the water with baking soda and other things to help alkaline. But I have a perfect water system in my home, and I sell stuff on my website to talk about water. That'll be another video. I haven't gone live in a long time, folks, so I'm seeing what you need from me, and I've got help now. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to find a way. Anyway, so I start my day off with water. And then when I feel hunger, because I'm not always hungry right away, you know, when I feel hunger, I may have something that's living. I may have juice. I may have my protein, my raw protein shake. I may have something like that. Or I may have a raw cheese and raw crackers I've made or something like that. But I eat so little, and I have so much energy. And I'm back to ballet class. And at 77, I'm back taking ballet classes and thinking of all. So I don't eat a lot because I don't think a lot is required. I think if you are what you can assimilate and use. And if it takes this much food for you, your body's out of balance, in my opinion. Anybody else?
Yes. What about mushroom coffee?
Yeah, there's some mushroom coffees out there that are good, and mushrooms are generally very healing and healthy for us. So, yeah, I would be all for that. My husband doesn't want them, but yeah, I would go along with that.
And then Sarah S. said, hi, Karen. And somebody else said, do you eat desserts?
Dessert. Okay, here's the deal about dessert, folks. You know, we've come up with this breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and this is this, and this is that. Foods don't have a label on it. We've only put the labels on it. And one of the best ways to get your kids healthy and vegan, give them some vegan ice cream for breakfast, okay? Foods don't have a tag on them. We've only attached that. We've been marketed into believing that. So yeah, I eat some desserts that I make or raw or whatever, absolutely. But it may be what I have after my water in the morning, or it may, although I don't like to do the sweets too early, or it may be what some people would call lunch. So, you know, I eat by what my body is dictating. And because I've cleansed and detoxed my body for 50 years, I can listen to what I have to say. I trust me.
Do you have an evening routine?
Do I have an evening routine? Yeah, I'm all about routines. By the way, I don't answer my phone or go near my phones or talk to anybody or look at social media or text or anything before 9 a.m. in the morning. I am up at 5:30 every morning without fail. It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. My body goes, whoop, it wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. Wherever I am, I've been on the other side of the world, and I'll wake up at 5:30 in the morning, right? So what I'm doing, my breakfast is actually prayer and meditation. I pray and meditate every day of my life. I do a few ceremonies, one called Agnihotra. It's the oldest known ceremony to man. It's a little fire ceremony. I pray. I believe in Jesus. I believe in everybody. You know, so I spend time listening, talking, and seeing what's coming my way. I have something, an infrotonic machine I use, with a chi machine, you know. So I have all of these things that I do in the morning. And I do the 5 Tibetan rites. So in the evening, sometimes I will do some of these things again. But I like to read. I have an extensive library. I do the audio things, but I love books. I love the smell of books. I love the way they look. I'm always ordering and buying new books, and so I read. I'm not a big TV watcher, although a few things every so often I'll get caught up to watch one of the shows. I think there was one I watched, but I'm not big on TV because it's called programming, and it programs you, you know, all the things in between. So I like to be programmed by God, Spirit, Universe. I like the books. I like to pick and choose. So I read in the evenings. I make food for the next day or the next week. I love to be in my kitchen. I spend at least 3 or 4 hours a day in my kitchen. What else do I do in the evenings? I write. I love to write. I journal. I write. And I ask and get guidance. So I kind of, yoga, yes. I haven't been doing it as regularly, but I'm going to incorporate more of my yoga practice in the evening too, because that's part of the winding down. Are we getting close to our hour being up? Because I could talk forever. No, we're fine.
Okay.
I'm totally transparent.
Okay. This one is asking, how was your journey with menopause? What age, and did you have any symptoms?
How was my journey? And here's the guy, folks, guys. It's cleansing and detoxing. It's just not being plant-based and being raw. I cleanse and detox. There are other societies and cultures that don't go through all the menopause symptoms. And guess what? I didn't have any either. I actually took a pregnancy test. I thought I was pregnant because I hadn't had a period. So no, I had no symptoms. I don't believe for 1 minute that we're put here and at a certain age, God says, okay, now you got to have the chemicals. So much of the menopausal symptoms come from the excessive sugar that people are taking. A lot of you will find out that you eat something and then all of a sudden the hot flashes start to come. That's the sugar. So I have classes for that too. Join me in my classes. But I actually went through menopause with no symptoms whatsoever. I didn't even know I was in menopause. The restaurant. Okay, yes, I just closed my last restaurant. Not used to failure, but it feels like I was a failure out here in Flossmoor where I chose to
Somebody
open.
was saying they were trying to order.
Oh yeah, restaurant's gone, long gone. I opened it up out here. It closed about 2 months ago. It wasn't the right space or time for it, and there's so many people doing it now, so you don't need me anymore. So no, you can't order from the restaurant anymore, but you can get my book, my cookbook, and you can learn to make all the recipes that I was doing in the restaurants. And you can order from my website or you can get it on Amazon. Anybody else?
Yes. Can you post a day in the life morning edition? I wasn't able to write everything.
Yes, I will post a day in my life. I will do it. It's so personal, which is why I haven't done it before. And I know everything is about putting everything out there now. But I will do it. I promise you. I will post my morning, and I'll do it because I have nobody to help me anymore. I used to have a team, but I will post what my morning is because, and I didn't start my whole morning out at once. I didn't one day wake up and, oh, I'm doing all this for 3 hours. As I learned things and it resonated with me, I added on. I got something new I'm doing, folks. I'm not going to even tell you because you'll think I'm too much of a woo-foo. I just added on my dowsing sticks because there's a woman on Instagram doing it, but they work. Honestly, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but they work. Anyway, I'm going to add in more. But yes, I will do a video on what my morning is. I'm so grateful for all of you coming on with me here today. You know, I've been feeling like I'm a thing in the past because I started all this so long ago and everybody's on the internet. And I am loving the internet. I'm learning to love it. Okay? Do I have anything else?
Yes. This one says, I don't drink coffee, but have been doing coffee enemas.
Oh, coffee enemas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What are
Uh,
your thoughts on it?
You know, I know there was even a Dr. Garcia in New York who kind of started that whole craze about 30, 40 years ago, the coffee enemas. And I'm not for it because if I wouldn't put it in this way, I wouldn't put it in that way, okay? Yes, it has been known to have some benefits for the liver and some other, but do wheatgrass enemas. That's what I learned from Dr. Wigmore. Do chlorella. Do the green enemas. That's what we teach and do in my classes. I am not a big fan of coffee enemas at all. Like I said, I wouldn't take coffee in this way and I wouldn't take coffee in that way. It is acidic to the body. Anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
We got totally away from talking about meat, folks, but that's okay. I'm here for you.
What do you do for B12 and how do you keep your iron up?
Yes, so much of the iron has to do with if you're absorbing it. And once again, I'm getting it through my greens. My B12, I do fermented foods every day. I love sauerkraut. I do something called a gut shot. And the Rejuvelac I teach how to make. You're getting your B12s from also. But for those of you who aren't going to do all those, I say take a supplement. Do a sublingual one that you can put under your tongue. Get a good sublingual B12 that you're comfortable with. But I'm very comfortable with the fermented foods that I take and how I get it. What was the other part of that?
The other one was your iron. How do you keep it?
Oh, yes, my iron. Well, it's funny enough. One of the teas that I drink, I make in an iron pot. But I'm getting it through all these supplements, the green supplements that I'm taking. I'm feeling very comfortable with it. We'll talk to the doctors about that more when we bring them on. Okay?
Is green tea a good coffee replacement?
Yes, it is. And I would go with matcha rather than just the straight green tea. I would use the matcha too, with the way it's processed and all in the powder and all. But yeah, I think it's a great substitute. But I'd like to remind you, make sure you do some alkaline stuff first, like your water.
Do you have tips about regenerating the regeneration of nerves with food?
Yeah, once again, okay, here's we can come at this so many ways. I think there's one way to do it is detoxing and cleansing your body because the body is a self-regenerating organism. It was designed to do that. You get new cells every 7 years. You get new tissue every 3 months. Your bone, everything is constantly regenerating. We're never more than 7 years old, folks. So it's not just putting in the good stuff. You have to stop doing the other stuff because you're kind of like piling all the good stuff on top of all the negative, and it kind of seeps through eventually. So I have seen people, and we're going to be putting more of our testimonials up. I have a book of testimonials like this, and I have another book too, my detox book. I don't have it right here. I didn't think I was going to be doing this tonight. But with tons of testimonies. It doesn't matter what you name the challenge. The challenge is your body shaking you, saying you're giving me too much of what I'm not supposed to have and not enough of what I'm supposed to have. Whatever your predisposed weakness is from your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, it's going to come out, all right? If you keep giving the wrong things, and we tend to eat like our families are, we tend to handle stress and life like our mothers and our grandmothers and great-grandmothers or grandfathers and whatever, so we end up with the same diseases, and that's the family diseases. If you remember in the beginning, I said everybody, the women in my family, all died overweight and young. So had I continued in the same vein that they were living and eating, I shouldn't be alive today. And I certainly shouldn't be in the health that I enjoy on a consistent basis. So I think a good detox, I'm not a doctor or scientist, but I've seen all kinds of things regenerate and change. I've seen people that have been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I've seen people with endometriosis, Crohn's disease. I've seen people with menopausal. It doesn't matter what the symptom is. You cleanse and detox your body and give it a chance to do its own regeneration. Remember, God's spirit universe put it in there to regenerate and heal.
They're saying you're so inspiring. You're definitely not a thing of the past. Still way ahead of our time. This one says you're definitely one of the founders of raw food and vegan lifestyle. You are amazing.
Thank you. I love the validation because I am feeling I'm out here in the suburbs and nobody wanted my flowers. I'm not going to whine and complain, okay? So it's beautiful. Thank you for the validation. I need it.
Do you still have a garden?
Yes, I have a garden. I'm growing. Although, okay, the cicadas came out here this year, right? And I didn't go out in the garden. I did learn to not be terrified of them. In fact, I took pictures. They're beautiful animals. They only come out every 17 years, 12 to 17 years. I'm thinking I may not be around the next time they come out. So maybe that's why I had to go through it. But I didn't tend to my garden or give it the love and care that I did the year before. Because when you went outside, they were dropping in your hair. They were in your clothes. I mean, they were under my skirts, my pants. I mean, they were on the dog that came in the house. And I can't kill anything. You guys know that whole thing I did on catching the little mice I had in my house and letting them go. So I couldn't kill them. And so I didn't tend to it this year like I did the year before, but I'm back out there now, and they're going to get better and better. But you know what? I eat the dandelions in my garden. I eat the milk. I eat all the weeds in my, because I don't kill them. I don't get rid of them. That's part of my food too, but I don't even have to grow. God just put it there for me.
What do you recommend for hand and feet pain?
Once again, I'm going to cleanse and detox your body, folks. And I don't know if it's excessive. You know, it's so much of excessive what you have. And here's where I want to address this, because even in my world, the holistic world, we've learned to compartmentalize the body. I got a hand problem. What am I going to take for that? I got a heart problem. What am I going to take for that? I got an ear. So we're taking, but it's all housed in one thing. There's an orchestra that plays here, that you have to bring it all together. And what I found to do that is cleansing and detoxing the body. I wish I had the date for you today, because if you hopped in on the class, and it's so cost effective, if you hopped in on the class, you would get results beyond your wildest dreams. I guarantee. That I can guarantee. Because it's not my process. I'm just putting you back in what God intended you to do, how he intended you to live. So there's no way it can't work. Okay? So hands and feet. What would I say that could help? One of the things that we do in my classes, a lot may have to do with circulation. But I can't diagnose. I'm not going to get into trouble for doing that. So I don't want to do that. Detox, come do my next detox class, or join me on Wednesdays when we do our little free thing that I do with my Patreon people, where I just talk to people, and because it's a little more private and I can give you a little more advice. So we'll put that up too.
What do you recommend for internal hemorrhoids?
You're not pooping right, kid, okay? If your body's pushed, or you recently had a baby, you can get them for those too. When you've had children, the pressure, pushing a baby out can create them. But one of the things that could help, I got this product here this time, is my ozonated magnesium. You need to go to the bathroom more often. There's no one thing for everything, but you would get some results. Also, soaking in a bathtub with cranberries. Yeah, cranberries kind of help break that up too. If you do a little sitz bath with some cranberries, that can help the hemorrhoids also. But once again, I do have that one size fits all that's dealing with the whole orchestra. Come do my detox class. You will get results beyond your wildest dreams. I promise.
Do you have any protocols for gallstones?
Gallstones, yeah. Once again, you're trying to make me compartmentalize the body, right? And that's an acidic problem in the body. You detox. There's some juices. I hate to do this. Celery, cucumber can help some of those things, but you need to do a whole process, because it's going to come back, or it's going to show up someplace else. If you don't address where the problem came out, it's going to show up someplace else. The body go, okay, you didn't get. My mother didn't just get cancer and die, right? My mother had migraine headaches. Well, she was constipated her whole life, which created migraine headaches. So she took medication for that. Then she got what did she get? Gallstones next, and then she had that operated on, and then she had a hysterectomy, had that operated, and then she ended up with cancer. Her body kept telling her, you're not giving me what I'm supposed to have and too much of what I don't. So I go back to the detox, come through my detox, start with the sugar break that's coming up first. It's easier. And then we hop into the next detox class.
So we love you, Karen, and thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you. I love you too. I promise you validate my life. This is what I'm here for. This is what I've gone through, all this stuff I've gone through. So I can pass it on. Yes, there's a scientific way. But we all get that God experience we're born with, and it's tapping into that really shows us the way. And the reason the classes work so well is because we're an accumulation of many people, many souls going in the same direction. It makes it easier than the one-on-ones.
Have you heard about EE systems? It is scalar wave technology for recharging yourself so you can heal yourself.
I have not. I do use some machines, like I have a Rife machine. I have one in my home. And at my wellness spa, we had 2 Rife machines. And so that may be something similar. The Rife, that's all about frequencies. Royal Rife, he had, what do you call it, a microscope where he could actually see pathogens in the body. And he created the frequencies to zap the pathogens. So he was the first one to do it. I'm sure there are other things on the market now that are mimicking that. But I do believe in Royal Rife, and I do have a $14,000 Rife machine that I use on a regular basis here in my home. So I don't know if it's the same thing or similar technology.
What date is the next detox and sugar break class?
Okay,
And how can you
okay,
sign up?
I know. So if you will DM me your email address, your information, I will see that you get it, because I just got a team to help me with all this stuff, folks. I'm doing everything by myself. Those of you who took my classes 30, 40 years ago, no, I had a whole team to do everything. They didn't have somebody do my makeup and my hair, you know, and they laid everything out for me and filmed it, and now I'm doing it all by myself. But I'm getting a team little by little. People are coming to help me. And the sugar break is going to be first and the detox next. So DM me your information, your email, and I will see that you get the information. I will also be announcing it on all my formats here.
Says Karen, did you see anyone healing visible but benign thyroid nodules
Oh, that's
with detox or living food?
wait. Yeah, let me tell you something. If you look at some of my old videos from 40 years ago, I had the biggest thyroid thing in my throat. That's what helped me bring me to all of this. I will say I don't get diagnosed. I don't go to doctors. I haven't been to a doctor in 50 years. I'm not recommending that for anybody else but me, because I'm very confident in my choices. And had I gone to a doctor, it would have been diagnosed as Hashimoto's or thyroid or all the different names they give it. But I knew that it had so many other dimensions to it. And that's partly where my systemic enzyme came into focus 30, 40 years ago. I developed this with Victoria Skovenskis for that. It took me about 3 years to get rid of it. There's no instant healing in my world, but it's gone. I have a normal neck now. So I had the condition, and I do believe detoxing and cleansing is what saved me and changed it.
I got cancer and I couldn't understand why. But I think it's because I was having too much fruit and grains. Grains are carbs, carbs turn into sugar. So definitely I'll jump on this new vegan diet.
Absolutely. And animal products and caffeine. And you know what? Even, here's the deal. I detox 4 times a year with the way I live. And I'm growing my own vegetables and I'm buying organic, right? But that organic farm is right next door to the pig farm. The wind doesn't stop there with the chemicals. You know, it's everywhere. We are living in a chemicalized world. We're living in very hostile conditions for human beings. Do you understand that? Very hostile conditions for human beings. So we have to go that extra distance to find balance. And I'm plant-based over 50 years, raw vegan over 45 years, don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, and I detox my body 4 times a year without fail. And that's why I feel I'm enjoying the success of vibrancy and health that I do, because I detox 4 times a year. So DM me your email address and I will see that you get the information to join in on our classes. But by the way, I'm going to say this. I don't believe my way is the only way. I believe there are many roads to the top of the mountain, but it's what resonates with you and feels right with you. And remember, look at the person teaching you. Like, I wouldn't go to a bald hairdresser. I know it's in. I wouldn't go to a toothless dentist. I wouldn't go to a stiff yogi, and I wouldn't go to a sick doctor or a doctor who's had a lot of sick people in his family. Okay? I want you to be resonating with what you're going to give me and teach me. So, do I have the only way? Absolutely not. But I'd listen to me.
You said, I visited 3 of your locations in Chicago. I'm so grateful I was able to be in your presence and all the goodness you bring to the world.
Oh.
Thank you for all you do. So much love to you.
Oh, who's that?
That is Dana Spinnick.
Oh, thank you. I need
thank
that.
you for being such a trailblazer. Now we're going to see a huge shift in humanity. Thank you for blazing the trail for all of us.
I swear you're going to make me cry. And then my makeup will run. No. Thank you, guys.
Somebody else said you can bring your restaurant to Nashville.
If you'll be my partner. I got no money left to do it. You got to do it. I'll bring my name and my expertise and help you. But I got tapped out with this one, folks. My husband and I put everything we had into it, and it didn't work, and left us in pretty big debt. But that's okay. You can't win or lose if you don't try. And I'm still trying at 77, winning and losing. Okay, more winning than losing, I hope.
What should I do for hair loss and dark circles?
Oh, well, these are your adrenals, okay? The dark circles. I had dark circles under my eyes as a baby. I had a very stressful childhood. Detox my class. You'll see them all change. If you do Instagram, go to that Instagram where I'm kind of making fun of somebody a little bit. It's not real nice, but I thought it was cute. Where you see the face, you'll see on my Instagram page, you'll see a face there. Hopefully we'll be able to pull all these things up someday where you can just see it. And if you punch on that one, it's the doctor talking about kale and stuff first. But when you get to the end, I tell how everything on your face shows what's going on internally. So every line on your face, the lines across your forehead, you think you're a deep thinker or blah, 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 it's excessive mucus in the digestive tract. The lines under the eyes, these are your adrenals and your kidneys. These are your small intestines and your liver. And the double chin is your organs prolapsing internally. I was saying this 30, 40, 50 years ago, and it remains the same. So you do my detox class, carry the mirror, take pictures of yourself, and it's like a veil is lifted on your face. You look totally different. The same thing happens with the sugar break too. Not as dramatically as with the full body detox, but you see the change. What you put in here translates to everything going on in your body. Cause and effect is what rules the universe. What you put in translates how everything works. It isn't coming from out here somewhere. I know we'd like to think that. Nope. It's what you do and what you were born with. So, are we getting close up? This has been so much fun. I will do this more often if I have help. I will doing it by myself because I don't have to reach over and try and read everything too. But I'm so grateful to all of you for over the years that you have supported me and validating my life in what I come to teach you. I'm going to get back to the source. We were talking about meat and why I'm plant-based. So if you have friends and family that are concerned or are worried or about not having animal protein in their bodies or in their lives, something just went off here. What happened? If you're concerned, I've used up too much time.
It will end in 4 minutes.
Oh, okay. I got to rush up because they're throwing me off the line. So I've got some doctors coming on. What was I saying? Oh, if you have anybody that is frightened or scared or wants more information in the scientific about going plant-based, stay tuned. Send me your email and your information. I'll make sure that you get the information. It will be posted, but just in case, to make sure you get it when I bring the doctors on that are going to talk about it. And this has been so phenomenal. I can't begin to tell you. I feel the love through here. And I just want you all to know how much I love you. This is what makes the world go round. And please remember that if you don't take care of your body,